Okay, girls, now I hope so these terms, growth, development, and maturation, will be clear to you by now. Now, if you read and if you go to page number 3 of your book and read the last para, then the concept of growth and development will be very clear to you. Fine, do read this paragraph, and it will also tell you the effect of learning that is very important with respect to development, not with respect to growth, but with respect to development. The environment, the role of environment is very important with respect to development. So do read that paragraph. Although you must read every topic on the daily basis, whatever we study on that particular day, do read that, give it a little reading, so that if you have any confusion related to meaning, related to the concept, you may ask later on. And I have also told you that you can use any medium or any forum of asking question, either your WhatsApp group or within your portal there is an option of comments. You can use that as well. Now the next topic is principles of growth and development. There are various principles with respect to growth and development. The very first one is people develop at different rates. Now, although the process is same, the bodily organs are same, but the rate of development is different. As you might see that there are individual differences, and there are children differences with respect to their age of walking, age of crawling, talking, all these things. So although the normal age of walking, if we talk about the normal age, that is 1 year, I think so, but there are few children who may walk at the age of 9 months. There are children who may walk at the age of 1 year, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. Fine. So this rate of development is different with respect to different individuals. Now there is one more thing which is known as developmental milestones. Now you people are going to search about this term, developmental milestones, and then we will talk about this first principle. You are going to tell me your answers. As I have told you, use any forum. Now, what is meant by developmental milestone? Then we will going to discuss this first principle again. Okay. Now, development is relatively orderly. There is an order in the development. First, one aspect of that organ grows, then another aspect, then another aspect, then the whole organ. Fine. First, the child shows the reflex of grasping and holding, and then there is orderly development of holding or grasping other objects tightly. Fine. Then they are able to write something with their hand. Then they are able to throw a ball or such like. So it is an orderly process. As you see that at once when you are born, then you do not attain all of your height at once. Fine. So it is the orderly process. And the next principle is very much related with the previous one, that developmental process is gradual and usual. It is a gradual process. It is occurring slowly and gradually. Fine. There is a change in the capability, in the functionality of your bodily organs, but that is a gradual change. That is a slow and orderly change. First you acquire one thing and then you move toward the another thing. It doesn't happen that haphazardly from one stage of life you enter to the another stage. Then it is a continuous process. As we have discussed this thing, that development is a continuous process. Now this process is characterized by integration and difference. So here what do we mean by this thing? That we come to know that these things are similar to one another, these things are different from one another. So according to the similarities and differences, we organize the things, we integrate the things. You see, if you know know the concept of schema. Schema basically is your awareness, is your awareness of the world that is in your brain, in your mind. Okay, that is schema. So your schema develops because of this integration and differences. According to similarities, you group objects. According to differences, you separate objects. Fine. So due to developmental process, we come to know that these two aspects are similar. Because we have acquired knowledge related to them, and these are different from one another. Now, developmental process occurs rapidly during infancy. Very rapidly it occurs during infancy. And another stage is adolescence, specifically the internal structures, no doubt external structures also. Both, they increase rapidly during adolescence as well. But the whole of the developmental process and growth, it is very rapid, actively taking place, quickly taking place during infancy. If you see infants, then you can very easily find differences with respect to their height and weight. But usually when you move to the adolescence or adulthood stage of life, then there are no marked as such differences. Fine. Now the number of chromosomes is fixed in every species. This is clear to you that all the species, they have fixed number of chromosomes, which is the natural gift to them. And if there is any change in that fixed number, then there is an abnormality, as you might have studied in your FSC, that there are so many chromosomal abnormalities due to the extra number of chromosomes. So all aspects of development are interrelated. Now, first of all, you should know that what are the aspects of development. I'll tell you this thing later on as well, but here, because this term has come, so you should be knowing that what are the aspects of development. Now, development has different aspects. There is psychological development, there is physiological development, there is cognitive development, social development. Fine. So these are known as aspects of development. Now all these aspects of development are interrelated. We can't say that physiological development has nothing to do with the psychological development, or psychological development has nothing to do with the social development. No, all these are interrelated. You see, if there is an abnormality, for example, in the psychological functioning of a child or an individual, then that abnormality is observable in other aspects of development as well, in the social aspect, in the physiological aspect. Fine. So all these aspects of development are interrelated. Now, achievement motive is very important with respect to developmental psychology. There are so many other motives that are important, and these motives you have studied in first year. Achievement motive, affiliation motive. Fine. So achievement motive is very it is very prominent during developmental process. As soon as the child grows, you see, the child wants to be independent, doing things on their own. They have the curiosity of knowing the world or the events around them. So all this is the example of achievement motive, which is very, very prominent and very important aspect of developmental psychology. Now, development results from interaction of heredity and environment. We can't deny this thing, that both are equally important. If there is heredity, then, as I told you, that the process of development continues because of environment. So environment is also playing its role. So it's mixture of these two. Both are very important. Both are equally important. Development is oriented progress. Now, oriented progress means the progress of the whole society. Now, if one or single individual progresses, it means that the whole society will progress. Fine. So the development of a single individual matters a lot, because that single individual is definitely going to intervene in the society in any way. So if the developmental process is in a very positive way, it is going in a soothing way, then the progress or the individual's role in the society will be very good. Psychological vitamins affect development. Now, whenever a child is born, then there are three things that are usually, we can say, triple S, which are the innate requirement of any individual. First is survival, second is security, and the third is sex. So these are the psychological vitamins. Fine. Every individual wants survival. How that individual is going to survive? By fulfilling the biological needs, need of hunger, need of thirst. Fine. So every individual needs security, shelter, home, and then every individual also needs to develop the family, to develop the species. Fine. So these are the psychological vitamins which affect development. If these vitamins are fulfilling in the proper way, then it is going to affect the process of development. If any one aspect from these vitamins is missing or not getting fulfilled in the desirable manner, then this is going to affect the developmental process. The little child, if not receiving sufficient food, definitely the developmental process will delay, and the other aspects of this psychological vitamins, security and sex, are going to suffer. All stages of development are important. Now, previously we read about that all aspects of development, and I told you what is meant by aspects of development. Aspects of development: physiological, cognitive, psychological, social. These are aspects. Now, stages or phases of development. These are your infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, old age. Fine. These are stages or phases of development. Now, all stages or phases of development are important. We can't say that as development is very quick in childhood, so that stage is very important, and the adolescence is not important. No, there is a change, physiological change, very rapid physiological change in adolescence as well. So that stage is equally important. Your adulthood is very important. Old age, where the process of growth has completely stopped. No doubt, the process of development continues, but there is no growth. Rather, there is decline in everything. Decline in your hair growth, decline, there is the appearance of wrinkles in your bodily strength, there is decline. But still, that stage is very important. So all stages of development are equally important. Expectations at every stage are different. Now, whatever tasks you perform in any stage, they are different. Definitely, in childhood, you are unable to perform the tasks of the stage of adolescence. Similarly, at the age of adulthood, you can't perform the tasks of the adolescence. So, whatever tasks you can perform, they differ with respect to different stages. Now, methods of satisfaction are different at every different developmental stage. Your own level of satisfaction, it differs with respect to different stages of development. The needs fulfillment is different with respect to different stages. Now, how you get satisfied in your infancy, you may not be satisfied in your adulthood. Fine. So this satisfaction level, and the nature of satisfaction, it differs in different developmental stages. Then the acquisition of self-image. With growth and development, we acquire our self-image.